So let's say you're listening to your lecturer online and they've said something that makes absolutely no sense to you. And you're not stupid, you might be a little bit tired, but you play it again. And still absolutely nothing. Here's what you can do. Grab what they said and chuck it into AI, asking for a simple explanation. I'll show you what I mean. In Copilot I use for this. You can use Copilot or ChatGPT. It's totally up to you. For this sort of thing, doesn't really matter which one you use. And I'll ask it to explain this text in simple terms. And then I'll just chuck it inside some quotes like this and enter. So you can see what it's asking. Engage in the act of executing a volitional unidirectional elevation of your proximal phalange to the second digit, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure that makes sense once you understand all the different terminology in that sentence of what you're trying to say. But while you're trying to learn it, this language is not helpful, and it's a big barrier to learning, and it's a huge frustration in my journey of learning. So look at this. This is what Copilot's done. It's absolutely amazing. So it breaks down each part of the sentence, and it's giving you, in simple terms, what each part of that sentence means. So the first bit means choose to lift up the first part closest to your hand of your second finger, your index finger, and so on. And at the bottom there's usually a summary. So here it says, in simpler terms, it's asking you to lift your index finger while keeping your other fingers relaxed. Hope this helps. How cool is that? But there's more. You can also do the same thing with a graph. So a lot of the times lecturers use graphs, and they're really handy once you get this concept to illustrate what's going on. But in the context of learning, I've found it a bit of a barrier to learning. So you can do the same thing. You can chuck your graph into AI. And this is where I switched to ChatGPT because that handles images. Screen grab the graph, and I'll just pull up ChatGPT and I'll just say explain this and just paste it in and go. Shows you the graph, has a little think about it, and look at this, it's giving me a detailed explanation of the components of the graph. So what both axes mean, what the lines mean, and also an explanation or an interpretation about what that graph and how that's relevant. So in summary, the graph demonstrates that myelination has a significant effect on increasing the conduction velocity of a nerve impulse, especially as the diameter of axon diameter increases. Now that's a hell of a lot easier for me to understand than looking at this graph. But once I know that, then I look at this graph and it actually makes sense to me. And it can also help you revise for your tests too. So you can get it to create sets of multiple choice questions for you based on your study notes. But I'll put that in another video. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. Good luck with your study.